Hello everyone. I'm here today to talk to you about labeling, the importance of labeling to make sure that the hand feel, the label is straight and consistent every single time to make sure your customer keeps coming back for your product. If you guys are talking about labeling one case to a couple thousand cases, I'm here to show you the processes in which it takes to make sure your bottle gets labeled. Round bottles are going to be your easiest bottle to label. If you want to go with a unique design or an oblong bottle, most likely you're going to have to get a custom labeler for that, and I would tell you at that point in time you're going to be looking at spending close to $5,000 to $10,000. The methods I'm going to show you today will start you off at $20 and bring you all the way up to showing you a $15,000 labeler with a date encoder on it. When I talk about date encoding, which we'll talk about in later videos, foil coating is going to be your best and cheapest way at the end of the day. Everyone wants their own VideoJet inkjet printer, and I don't blame you. I do too, and it's awesome to use. But you got to think about cleaning, you got to think about timing, you got to think about maintenance. All these facets go into picking out the right labeler. Even the labeler that I'm going to show you that can handle 30 jars a minute and do 1,000 cases a day, that might not be the right labeler for you, because if you're doing 10 different products and you have multiple different changeouts on label varieties, you're going to be wasting time and efficiency on that. So you might be better off going with smaller labeling machines and maybe having a multitude of those to be handling those different projects, those different size jars. Everything I'm going to show you today is based on our 16-ounce mayonnaise jar. Also, to be mindful of when you're choosing your label is the texture, the density of the label, the density and thickness of the backing of the label, and then you also want to be mindful if you're running any sort of clean, clear label, that your labeler has the acknowledgement for a clear backing so that the label registers and stops with or without the registration mark that you may have embedded within your labels. Most labeling machines require a number 3 or a number 4 unwind pattern, and that has to do with where the label is actually flipped and turned on the spool. And so if you're starting at home, I can almost guarantee you're going to use a number 1 unwind. That's just typically how they start people, because there's no need to go to more advanced twist patterns. As you develop and grow, you can take your 1s and make them into 3s, 4s, and you can grow your small labeling operation into a larger labeling operation. I would recommend making sure you have the least amount of seams in your labels. What I mean by that is a lot of digital label outfits will start to stitch reels together to make your master reel of 1,000 or 2,000 labels. When you run into stitching, you run into inconsistent cuts that then start wreaking havoc in your labeling machines, causing unnecessary torque in areas that you thought were just fine before. So you're going to be running into some unique issues when you're labeling, no matter what, and I still am running into unique issues. When a matte lamb comes in and it's super thick and it won't peel off my peel plate, it's tough to get that label to first start to stick before it starts to rotate on compression. So all these labels and labelers that I'm going to be showing you basically acknowledge that a jar's incoming, acknowledges to turn on a switch that says send a label, and then work on belts to be able to push that label on and around the jar in a comfortable setting that it looks proper when the jar is finished. And that takes a lot of time and settings in each machine. So there's no reason to start complicated. Let's start at the basics and grow from there.